It's like investing in the stock market. Nothing is guaranteed, and I'm very cognizant of that. But we're not in the business to be in business. We're in this business to win. You can say that again. Shannon, was this spending spree by the Patriots desperate or calculated?
I believe it was calculated. And I love Mr. Kraft, Skip. And he said he had to come up with that kind of capital. And for the people at home, when a team guarantees contract, they have to put that money in escrow. So when he said he had to come up with that capital, Skip, he had to come up with $175 million and put that in escrow. You guarantee $200 million, you got to have that money in escrow. So Mr. Kraft, like, man, they had me spread, hey, I got a lot of money, but, I ain't got $175 million under my pillow.
Yep.
Skip, it was calculated. The thing that what I took from this free agency spending spree that Coach Belichick went on, he admitted he made mistakes. Those 2 third-round tight ends, Skip, I made a mistake. That wide receiver that we took 2 years ago in the first round, I made a mistake. See, the difference is between Coach Belichick and everybody else, Skip. When you make a mistake like that, you got to ride it out, because if you don't, the owner's going to fire your ass. He's safe. So he made a mistake with 2 third-rounders. One, he traded up, Skip, and guess what he did? A year after taking those guys in the 3rd round, he goes in free agency and spends what? $75, $80 million on tight ends. He take a wide receiver with the first pick, his 1st round pick, and what does he do? He goes spend another $40, $50, $60 million in wide receivers. So I made a mistake. And Mr. Kraft says, okay, I'm going to cover for you this time. Most of the time, Skip, you got to let this thing play out. You're not getting rid of no guy after no what. Now, unless it's a situation like Tennessee, that offensive lineman, 1st round pick, got traded for a 7th, and now he's out of the league. But normally it takes an extenuating circumstance for something like that. Skip, we don't normally see this.
No.
We don't normally see a guy go spend this kind of money after just taking that position. You took 2 tight ends, and you replace them a year later with 2 free agent tight ends. You take a wide receiver. So he said, I goofed it. I made a mistake, but I'm going to correct this mistake. And Mr. Kraft said, hey, and this is what I love what he said. He says, I'm not in business just to be in business. How many, Skip? Because you know with this new TV deal, Skip, every owner starting in 2022 going to get $300 million from the TV contract.
Yeah.
That's before a ticket. That's before concession. That's before paraphernalia. That's before parking. That's before local advertising is sold. They're getting $300 million. Mr. Kraft said, I ain't in the business just to get them $300 million check. I'm trying to win Lombardies, and I trust that guy that's going to get me another Lombardi trophy. Coach Belichick, I hate to say it, but he impressed this girl. Tom seen what he did. Tom was like, that's okay, I'm still happy down here where I am. But he said, hey, if you'd have just waited, this is what I would have been willing to do for you. I'd have gave you a nice ring. I'd have gave you a nice car. Tom said, nah, I'm good over here where I'm at right now. But Skip, it was calculated. This is what you have to do. And I know, Skip, your Pro Football Focus said they overpaid for this one, they overpaid for that one. But it's just like the Dory Jackson, Skip. I don't know who else the hell I'm bidding it against. Hey, I'm bidding in the dark. I'm trying to get a number. What number can I get to that says, okay, you're going to be willing to be a New England Patriot? Well, it took $13 million for Aguilar. It took whatever for Kendrick Bourne. And that's what you have to do, Skip. That's what free agency is. That's why guys want to get the free agent, Skip. That's why they hate the tag, because the tag is a set number, $15 million. Well, if I get out there and I get a couple of teams bidding, just think about it. What's the guy's name, Skip? Chris Godwin. He got what, 14 million? What's the tag, 14 million?
14.5, yep.
Kenny Golladay got 17.5.
Okay.
That's what he said. He said, I want to test the market. So when you test the market, you have to pay. But I think it was very calculated what he did. He admitted, I made mistakes. Now let me cover up those mistakes by going and doing it this way.
By the way, just a year ago, Amari Cooper got $21 million, but don't get me started.
Well, that was Jerry Big Spit. That was Jerry Big Piece of Pie.
Back to Robert Kraft. I have just one response from Mr. Kraft. Welcome to life without Tom Brady. I'm sorry. I don't care how you want to spin this. Tom Brady left this organization in a shambles. They are flailing. They are desperate. Tom Brady made Mr. Kraft look like the greatest owner in the history of sports. And there's a lot of quality and there's a lot to respect in that man. No doubt about that. But he got a lot of credit for just
Staying out of the way.
just standing in the background and being there when necessary,
right,
but just staying out of the way, as you point out. And Bill Belichick got a lot of credit for being a genius head coach. When I'll give you genius defensive coordinator, or at least an all-time great one, but when it comes to team building, this looks all-time desperate to me. This looks like splashing cash the way nobody did in this whole free agency period. The biggest shock of free agency is what a slow rollout it's been, because I thought everybody would splash cash on day one. I know the cap has fallen.
Right.
I know money can be tight, but there were 6 teams that had big money. And again, Robert Kraft said we had the 3rd most money. Well, they spent the 1st most by far.
And they still got some money.
By far, though, okay? They still got some money. I got it. But this was that they came out of the blocks and just threw money every direction. And it felt willy-nilly to me, because Robert Kraft woke up last year and said, wait a second, we're about to go 7-9. How can that be? Because all he's ever known, for the most part, is
playoffs and Super Bowl.
Tom, terrific, man. Tom will figure it out.
Right.
Tom will overcome. Tom will win in spite of. And he just did again and again and again. It didn't matter how many poor moves, how many suspect moves Bill Belichick made as the team builder, as the GM of the Patriots. Brady always canceled it out because Brady would rise above. That's just what he does.
Right.
And now everybody, all the sites I respect, the analysts I respect, they're all saying, let's start with Nelson Aguilar. Just way overpaid for a guy who had a blip of a year last year in Las Vegas.
But Skip, that's all that matters in free agency. And see, that's what you have to be careful of. Is this a guy that's trending in that direction, or was just because he was in a contract year? Skip, you know teams, and I've had discussion with teams, and it says he never played like this before. Was it just because he's in a contract year, or is this something that he can continue? Skip, that's what you don't know. You don't, but Skip, here's the thing. Well, you're right. When you have Tom Brady, there's some moves that you can make that Tom Brady can overcome. Now that you don't have Tom Brady, we don't have that luxury of being able to overcome. So we need to make sure we're talented enough at those positions, because I'm not so sure that we have a quarterback that can overcome the mistakes that I've made in the past. So you have to do that, Skip.
Okay, then we go to the tight ends.
They call you
Jonnu Smith. I like Hunter Henry a lot.
I do too.
But still, both of them have not made a single Pro Bowl. And I know Patriot Nation was, we got Jonnu, we got Hunter Henry. It's because you got nothing else.
Nothing. They was really at the bottom of the barrel.
And if you really think you have Gronk and Aaron Hernandez, you are sadly mistaken. I'm sorry. And you had to overpay because you went first. You didn't wait out the market at all because you felt like you couldn't, because you were desperate to improve as quickly as you could to keep up with Tom Brady. I don't care what anybody says. In the backs of their minds, they're saying he just won the Super Bowl.
But Skip, here's the thing is, I go into free agency, and I got my board up. Here's the position that we want. We want A, B, C, D. Skip, if A is up there, Skip, I can't wait the market out and let somebody snatch what I need. So by the process of me waiting, in the time that I'm waiting, somebody else snatched Hunter Henry. Somebody else snatched Jonnu Smith. Skip, then now I'm stuck with the third-round guys that I know they can't play. That's why I want these guys.
And the prize of their haul, to me, was Matthew Judon. And again, he's a guy who leaps off my screen. But Pro Football Focus ripped this move and said much of his production came courtesy of Baltimore's extraordinarily high blitz rate. Still a concern due to Judon's unproven ability to win one-on-one battles. If that's true, then you way overpaid for him. He won't change your life. Unless you blitz the way Baltimore did, and they don't usually blitz that way.
Well, they did. They did when you, Skip, you know, Coach Belichick, the year they won the Super Bowl, they were a heavy pressure team. When they got off to that great start where everybody talking about that's a historic defense, they were blitzing. Now, you know, I'm hearing now that they're not actively shopping Stephon Gilmore, but Stephon Gilmore's like, I want to get paid. I see all these guys making all this money. Dory Jackson makes as much money as I do, and he can't even see me. So y'all need to do something about my pay. But Skip, when you in this situation When you get accustomed to winning,